Welcome to Shanxi Provincial Gymnasium in Xi'an, where the Lunar New Year celebrations continue with our second game of the day, New Zealand versus Puerto Rico in a do-or-die clash. Julia Montesano and Laurie Chiswick are calling the action today. And Laurie, this might be the most important game these two teams have ever played.
You are exactly right there, Julia. Everything will be on the line tonight, as the prize that is up for grabs is a spot in the Paris Olympics. Puerto Rico are looking to qualify for the second time following their first ever appearance at this level at Tokyo Olympics, while New Zealand, well, they're looking to secure their spot, having not played in an Olympic game since 2008.
We just saw France get the clinical victory over China by 32 points. Gabby Williams and Marie-Jo Hannes were the top scorers, while Li Meng battled hard for China. And that result puts France up the top, China second, New Zealand third, and Puerto Rico fourth. Speaking of Puerto Rico, here they are out on the floor. And with no player scoring double-digit points against China on Thursday, they must bounce back in a big way today against a confident and young New Zealand lineup.
Well, you're right. They actually didn't shoot the ball that well against France, largely due to France's suffocating defense, which we saw the game before against China as well. But I would really expect that to change in today's game. They actually had quiet games from their two superstars in Girantes and Hollingshed, who combined for a total of only 7 points against France, compared to their average at the America Cup, where they combined for 31 points. So I would expect more from both of them.
As would I. As we look ahead and visit Gerardo Batista for the first time today, he's got a smile on his face, which is good to see. It is an exciting time for both teams, that's for sure. And we take a look at New Zealand now, and to me, Laurie, I don't know about you, but I don't think a 47-point loss paints the full picture of just how well they played against China on Thursday.
I agree. When you see that score margin, you think that they they didn't produce anything really great, but I thought they actually moved the ball well. They had good player movement, especially when they were up against the might of China. They shot the three ball at only 10%, so they will certainly be hoping they can find some rhythm from long range in tonight's game.
Absolutely, their bigs will have a big part to play, that's for sure, as they round out the lineups. Zoe Richards coming out there. And of course, New Zealand as well. That was their heaviest defeat ever in the Olympic qualifying tournament, 47 points by the same token. So they definitely want to bounce back.
Well, they will want to bounce back. And you know, it's really, every game's different. Every game that step on the floor, it's a new opportunity. And they will be looking to, as we see Coach Guy Malloy on screen, there's no doubt that they will be looking to move forward.
Let's listen to the national anthems now of New Zealand and Puerto Rico.
女士们、先生们，请全体起立，奏波多黎各国歌。Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem, New Zealand. 女士们、先生们，请保持肃立，奏新西兰国歌。 Please be seated. 请坐。
We'll now have a look at the players and teams exchanging gifts here in Xi'an. A great edition of the tournament and FIBA events in general, and it was also great to see both teams spending some time engaging in some Chinese New Year celebrations last night, of course celebrating the Lunar New Year today, I should say. Well, the referees, they have one of the toughest jobs in the business, and today they are Ariadna Chueca, Christian Pais, and Daigo Orishima. Chueca, a Spanish referee, Pais from Ecuador, and Orishima from Japan. All three have 15 years of experience between them, so we're in very capable hands today. It's the starting lineups now, and we're going to start with Puerto Rico. We know they had a disappointing loss on Thursday night against France. So we're going to take a look at who's going to start tonight for them. They'll need to come out and have a big start, that is for sure. So it's going to be Rosado, Hollingshed, Girantes, Quinones, and Benitez.
And Julia, that is exactly the same start lineup that they started with in their last game. Nobody scored in double figures, so somebody is going to have to lift in this game. And regardless of whether it's any of the starters or any of the bench players coming off the bench, you must take care of the ball and make sure they're getting good shots down the court.
Here is Coach Gerardo Batista. He'll be hoping for a win and a chance to take his team back to the Olympics for just a second time in their history. Of course, we know they're at the 2020 edition. Let's now head over to the other side of your screen, and it's New Zealand who are warming up and getting ready for their version of a do-or-die clash. And their starting five is Stella Beck, Ezra McGoldrick, Tamilo, Reed, and Dale.
And that's a bit different from the lineup they had when they played China. We've got inserted into that starting lineup Tamilo and Dale. Dale didn't even suit up the first game at all because she got a slight knock during a training session. And this is also her very first appearance at senior level, so very exciting for her.
Talk about a baptism of fire as well. A big moment for her and a big moment tonight for Coach Guy Malloy on screen. Of course, he'll be hoping to take his team to the Olympics for the first time in 15 years. They haven't reached the summit since 2008. A long time between drinks for them as he gets ready to address his players.
And you know, as you mentioned, both teams had the day off yesterday, but I will tell you what, both coaches would have been working overtime, watching video, making notes, putting together a game plan that hopefully for each team has that winning formula.
Absolutely, and it's great to see the crowd stick around for tonight's game as well. It's going to be a cracking spectacle to watch. The excitement's building up. I'm getting nervous as a commentator. I can't imagine how the players across us are feeling right now, but it's a lot of build-up and a lot of preparation goes into this moment.
Well, there's just so much on the line, and it'll be really important the start of this game. Which team is going to set the tempo, and which team is going to have the ascendancy in defense? So, you know, both coaches would be hoping that the players that they've got on the court, that they're going to stick to the game plan and come out firing and really play at both ends.
So it's the team ranked 23rd in the world in New Zealand up against the 12th ranked Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico today in the red uniforms on your screen, New Zealand in the white. Anticipation building, I should say, for what is a do-or-die clash. It is must-win for both these teams.
Yeah, as you say, I've got a little bit of nerves, a little bit of butterflies for both these teams as well, because it is exciting, and it's, you know, to be able to play in these sorts of games at this level, you know, in front of a crowd. It's not neither of them home crowd, so you'd have to say it's a neutral venue, and we know that there's just so much on the line.
It's exactly what you play for as a player, as a coach, as an official, as a staff member on any team. Welcome to Xi'an in China, where New Zealand and Puerto Rico will be hoping to break through for a win in this Olympic qualifying tournament and hopefully go on to much more. McGoldrick starts the scoring for New Zealand.
Well, I'm not sure why there was such a mismatch in there, but she did a great job of just going straight to the basket and posting up Rosado.
And we know McGoldrick was the only player in both of these teams on Thursday to score over 10 points. She's got her game off to a good start tonight. As Reid brings the ball down for New Zealand. Can they go back-to-back? Can McGoldrick go back-to-back? It comes back to Beck. Tamilo. What a way to start!
Now that might be a good reason why she was inserted into that starting lineup. Coach Guy Malloy said after the game he really liked the way she played against China, and so, you know, rewarded her with starting. And, you know, in fact, she's paid him off for that, and we see her at the line.
So only the 4 points on Thursday night, but 6 rebounds and 5 assists. So she did really well to stay involved in the game. And again, Reid, Tamilo with the boards. A good block by Hollingshed. Girantes tries to reward Hollingshed on the offensive end, and it pays off.
Again, nice athleticism by Hollingshed, and we can see the intensity of defense by Puerto Rico, almost trying to double that ball handler.
Tamilo into Reid. That is some great back and forth passing, but it just doesn't pay off.
Oh, I just don't think she realized how open she was on that cut.
That's what nerves do to you at this time, doesn't it? Hollingshed misses the 3. Dale gets her hands on the ball for the first time this tournament, and the first time in a New Zealand uniform. What a moment. Stella Beck turns it over, but gets it back luckily. Dale, can she make an immediate impact? She can!
Again, another first-time starter out there, but as you mentioned, a first time playing in a senior competition with the New Zealand team.
What a moment for McKenna Dale. It comes to Rosado for Puerto Rico. The captain, can she respond? Beck, speaking of capable captains, brings the ball down the floor. Oh, McGoldrick caught in 2 minds.
Well, they don't often call that, but it really was a travel. As you said, she thought about it. Was she going to pass it? And then just didn't quite get the ball down in front of her before she took that first step.
Nevertheless, a good start for New Zealand. 7 points to 2. 13 assists and 20 turnovers in their last game against China on Thursday night. Girantes wants to get over McGoldrick. Instead drives past her. A great feed to Quinones. Can she convert? She can.
Good patience, good poise showed by Quinones in that instance, and Girantes as well.
Dale for back-to-back triples. McKenna Dale making it rain. That is clutch from McKenna Dale. And I'm loving the energy from the New Zealand bench early on in this game as well. Rosado into Hollingshed. Wow. Travel on the other end.
All right, so that's something the players are going to have to be aware of. If the referees are focusing on that, you know, same call in the first 3 minutes of this game, they're going to have to be really certain they do not drag that pivot foot.
Great to see Lauren Whitaker out on the floor. Laurie, we're really impressed with her on Thursday.
I thought she did a great job. Again, it was her first time in a senior tournament, and she just didn't take a backward step. She looked really comfortable out there.
Reid, oh, there is Whitaker on cue. Couldn't get the bucket on the first attempt. The second didn't work out either, and Reid is still down, holding that nose. Took a bit of a heavy hit.
And again, those are the shots that we could just see there, that little raised elbow, and that's why the foul was called. But Whitaker, just before that, just needs to take her time and you know, look where she is under the basket, go up strongly. You know, she's one of the taller players out there, so she can just have a little bit more time and work on those finishes.
Girantes sets. Can't score. A foul amongst all the hands in the rebound. So already a physical start.
Wow, and that's Whitaker's. She just literally came on the court and now have to be subbed off with 2 fouls straight away.
It's disappointing for Guy Malloy and his New Zealand team, but an opportunity opens up for Tamilo now.
And we can see that Reid is stepping off the court and needs a sub. I think her nose may be needed attending to.
And Taylor Dalton's going to take her place. 7 points and 2 rebounds against China for Dalton. Quinones has to go back far for this one. Rosado. Melendez also into the action. Quinones sets. It's a good start for Quinones.
That's a really great start for Quinones. She's not known for necessarily shooting those threes.
Beck gets some assistance from Tamilo, who was rolling but didn't get used. Now she does. Back to Beck, pulls up from the elbow. Nice.
Again, good decision by Beck to pull up and not try and drive it in there where there was a lot of traffic.
Girantes does the same thing on the other end, steps back for the 2. Rosado. Quinones still can't get it on the 3rd go, and New Zealand get the stop.
Yeah, that was a foul called on the rebounding there where there was just a little bit of space trying to be cleared out. And the refs are being very consistent in that call. As we would expect, it's going to be a physical match.
So we're going to have another sub out on the floor. We're expecting them to be as frequent as they were on Thursday night for both teams.
Well, I think Reed must have just got her nose fixed up there and she's back ready to go.
Dalton comes to the bench smiling. No, she did her bit. Reed. Beck. Bounce pass wasn't quite the right idea. But they can start again.
Clock's reset to 14 seconds as it was called a foot violation.
And it'll allow Coach Batista to make a sub. Hollingshed in, Rosado out. So a pretty tall lineup out there for Puerto Rico at the moment. Can Dale take advantage though? Good drive. She's been so impressive in her opening minutes.
Well, she did a great job. She didn't really have a good look at the basket, but as you tell every player when they're going, just get the ball up towards the basket, and then if the foul's called, it means that you go to the line.
So McKenna Dale, she spends her time playing for Bendigo in the Australian League. She's also had spent time at Virginia College and Y in the New Zealand League too. Her first time playing for the Tall Ferns tonight.
Tell you what, every single foul shot for both teams is going to be crucial, because if it comes right down to the wire, we know how important those foul shots are.
And additionally, the referee is already hot on the whistle. There's going to be opportunity to head to the line. Puerto Rico with the 3 team fouls, New Zealand with the 2. We played just under 5 minutes in the first term. Reed. Off and running.
Wow. A little bit of a crossover there, but not quite in control enough.
Quinones calling for it. Instead, Girantes tries to find Melendez. Benitez!
Nice. Now that's the way you make an assist. She knew her teammate was in the corner, didn't even catch it, just tapped it to her.
And just like that, Puerto Rico back within 3. Beck. Driving on Benitez now, and she'll go to the line. Benitez's second foul.
Stella Beck's doing a really good job of controlling the tempo out there, controlling what her team does, looking at being a scoring threat herself or a distributor.
So Stella Beck at the line. Able to nail the first one. Of course, we know she was in foul trouble herself on Thursday, and it did sort of turn the game around and affect it. New Zealand were close with China at the start, but Beck ending with the 4 fouls. Had to sit for a lot of the game. Here she is now. McGoldrick. And an errant pass to Dale. So Whitaker is gonna come back into the game. She's on those 2 fouls, but Guy Malloy is persisting. Girantes. Benitez coming off a big three. Gets fouled. So confirmation, Benitez with the 3 points and 2 fouls.
And that's Whitaker's third foul. Again, straight on, straight off.
It's just not been her day so far. And it could have big implications. There's not much height on that New Zealand bench. It's going to be Tamilo shouldering a lot of the responsibility. You look to an Amy West, perhaps. Only Guy Malloy knows. Hollingshed stepping around Beck. A nice move. And she gets rewarded with a couple of free throws.
Well, and that's exactly what Hollingshed needs to do. You know, she's capable of taking somebody off the dribble, but she had a mismatch there, took advantage of that. And they need, as I said at the beginning, Girantes and Hollingshed to really step up, as we see Brianna Jones entering the game for her first time, replacing Benitez, that has the 2 fouls.
I thought Brianna Jones was pretty impressive in her minutes when she came on Thursday.
Well, especially at the end of the game, I thought she showed a lot of energy and endeavor on the defensive end.
Hollingshed goes 1 of 2. Reed again putting the step on. Back up the top to Beck. Sets, scores! Girantes now. She's yet to score this game. Into Hollingshed. Jones. Reed had the active hands, and now Hollingshed's in trouble.
Well, that was good defense by, as soon as Hollingshed picked it up and realized she had nowhere to go, a quick double was on there, making it even more difficult for her. And now they have 4.9 seconds on the clock to get a shot up.
Quinones has had the hot hand so far for Puerto Rico. Girantes, a nice little step. But New Zealand can get going up there and up by 6. Stella Beck. McGoldrick tries to body Girantes out of the way. Reed. Tamilo has an open look and knocks it down.
I like the poise of New Zealand and their decision making right now. They're not forcing anything. They're looking for their teammates.
Girantes loses it. A chance for McGoldrick. She's got Dale up ahead of her. Finds her. Dale completes the score. And it prompts a timeout on the floor. New Zealand with the hot start. 21 points to 11. It's going to be a Puerto Rico timeout. Coach Gerardo having a bit of a chat to the referees. The referees have played a big part in the game so far.
They've been consistent, though. They've called the same sort of calls from both ends, so, you know, it's really up to the players to make those adjustments on the run.
Let's head into the Puerto Rico huddle.
Okay, so now watch the press now. Ella saca la bola. 5, 2 and 3. Okay, watch the screen. Okay, watch you pass the ball, hands on. Okay, this one, go forward. We pass. Okay, pass. Okay.
So a great steal here from McGoldrick. Led to an up ahead look from Dale.
And hasn't Dale been impressive just getting into that starting lineup? Her first game this tournament, 9 points already. She's not missed a beat.
Been complimented well by the likes of Tamilo and Stella Beck here, hitting a lovely 3.
And they're going to need somebody like Stella Beck to step up in the scoring department as well. We know she's running the point, and the fact that they've lost 3 point guards that they had during the Asia Cup to injuries, and somebody like a Stella Beck or a Dalton have to swing into that one spot when they're really a 2-player. You know, she's doing a great job.
No Ledger Walker sisters, no Tupaia, no Davidson. out there for New Zealand. A completely new look team in this Olympic qualifying tournament. But they're leading here by 10 against a very consistent and experienced Puerto Rico lineup. Quinones, Girantes, Hollingshed called for it, but Girantes still has the ball in her hand. She puts it to the deck and knocks it in.
And that's what we know that she can do. She's got the strength, she's got the high IQ as a nice little crossover, and she's going to need to do a lot more of that tonight.
McGoldrick launches. Quinones and Girantes happy to share it around in the backcourt. Dalton on the floor guarding her. Hollingshed found some space, and the triple to go with it.
A bit of miscommunication there. They both went with the ball handler there and left Hollingshed wide open.
A nice response from Puerto Rico out of the timeout. It takes Hollingshed to 6 points. Reed stuck, and Quinones just couldn't reach it before it went out of bounds. It is still going to be a Puerto Rico ball, though. And they might chat it over here. And a sub out on the floor. Alison Gibson on for her first minute. She came in a bit later on Thursday night. It's pretty early for her to come in, but it's a nice move from Batista. Sophia Roma out there as well. To Melendez. Hollingshed. Roma was rolling. And now Hollingshed rolling to the basket on her own. Shot clock expired.
Good defense there to force that rush shot by Hollingshed.
And another sub out there for Puerto Rico. So they're changing the guards. Smith and Gibson out there. Melendez has gone off. Smith had a really positive impact on Thursday as well. Really nice backup point guard. Tamilo double teamed. It's good D there from Puerto Rico. And that's what it's going to be about. Just like in the first game of the day, France, they did play good offense, but Laurie, you mentioned their defense was spectacular. It'll be the same story here.
Lots of time on that clock. Nobody needs to panic.
Tamilo thinks about it, though. And jump ball is forced.
Jump ball go Puerto Rico's way because New Zealand got the tap at the start of the game. I don't think there's been another tie-up since then.
So Smith now for Puerto Rico. Just over a minute left in this first term. Girantes. Tamilo into Reed. New Zealand have had the better looks so far this game. Puerto Rico have had their moments too, mind you. Reed steps back. Beck claims the rebounds. Tamilo has a look and banks it in.
That's her range. She's really comfortable at that foul line area. That's her second basket from that spot.
Looking really comfortable out there. The youngster from New Zealand, Tamilo. Girantes kicks it out to Gibson in the corner. Offensive foul's called. Girantes hitting the deck.
Beck, what a wonderful job she did coming across from split line, planting her feet outside of that dunker circle and absorbing that charge.
Girantes takes a seat after that foul. And Beck's now getting to work on the offensive end. Can New Zealand get the last shot of the term? McGoldrick. Hollingshed with nowhere to go. And New Zealand will get a chance by the looks. Yes, they will. 5 seconds left.
It'll be interesting to see what they execute. Teams have some set plays when there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock of what sort of shot they want to what sort of shot they want to get and take.
Can Beck have the quick release? Guarded by Hollingshed. Beck banks it in! And the points are come!
Well, that's, if you call that a well-executed play, pass it in, a high on-ball screen. Beck took her time, showed her poise as the clock was ticking down. Refs are discussing right now whether that's actually going to count. Oh, I think she released it before those that red light went on.
Puerto Rico actually calling for the treble. And we're going to have an official review. This could be a big moment in the game. I know it's only the first term, but everything counts.
We're gonna review if the red line lane appears before the ball was released. Stop frame by frame. Can you play just frame by frame when the ball is in the arm? Seems like basket. Ball, stop. Can you frame by frame, please? Frame by frame. Frame by frame. When the ball is here before relief, can you play it frame by frame? Stop. Ball, hand, out. Okay, out. Okay, ball is good. So after review, the call remains basket good.
Okay, confirm.
So and after that in.
Basket, okay?
Yeah, and ball and time is over.
So confirmation, the basket counts, the quarter's over. Wasn't found on the way in, but they just had to check.
The score is 25.
So a good end to the quarter for New Zealand. Stella Beck, the captain, coming in clutch in the final moments. And at the end of the first quarter, it's New Zealand 25, leading Puerto Rico 16.
Okay, look past it, the corner will be open, the pass behind you will be open. Got it? Okay. You're in black on the 5, so stay with that. Have you gone out there? Right, she's got the ball. You're guarding the girl up here. Don't stay tight to your player, even the shooter. When she's here and looking to drive, you sit down into there. Take that away, swipe it back, and then we can always close out. Right. Man or zone, doesn't matter, I want the ball.
So we got a bit of a glimpse into what Guy Malloy's thinking, but now let's take a look at the first quarter best plays. And New Zealand, they got off to a fantastic start, and it was thanks to the likes of their young players, their very inexperienced players in Dale and even Tamilo stepping up.
I agree, they didn't take a backward step at all, and Dale was very influential with a couple of early shots and a fast break layup as well. But I really like that person on the screen, Stella Beck. I think she's played a great role in that first quarter, not only controlling the team, but really making good decisions when she's coming off the on-ball or had the opportunity to shoot it.
8 points and 3 rebounds for Stella Beck. She's played all 10 minutes, and that was how she finished off the first term. The referees took a long time to take a look at it, but the basket was confirmed in the air. Guy Malloy full of praise. And it's McKenna Dale, the woman on screen, the leading scorer. Make sure you download the Courtside app to watch all the Olympic qualifying tournament action as we tip off the second term here in Sion.
Benitez is back on the court with her 2 fouls.
Dale can't continue a good start just yet.
Great blocking out by Puerto Rico. New Zealand didn't have any chance at getting an offensive rebound.
Quinones into Benitez. Joined on the court by Hollingshed and Melendez. Benitez, oh, good block by McGoldrick.
Well, we know what a quick release Benitez has. We know that she loves that corner 3. So really good job to get a block there by McGoldrick on that shot.
Melendez now into Girantes, quick release. Good rebound by Hollingshed. And Benitez now can have another go. Still can't convert. Hollingshed, she's been a rebounding machine, not just tonight, on Thursday as well. Great stuff by the Puerto Rico big. And a travel. So a good start for Puerto Rico. And I think that's the third travel of the game. So you're right, Laurie, the referees are consistent with that call.
Yep.
Benitez into Girantes. McGoldrick staying right with her. Hollingshed thinks about it, drops it.
You're not going to carry a hand on her. She is going to shoot that.
That is unreal from Maya Hollingshed. Up to 11 points. Richards, Dale. She's got the 9 for New Zealand. Scoops it back over to Reed. It just gets there. McGoldrick from the corner. Big call coming. New Zealand ball.
I love it how when a ball goes out of bounds, every player points in a different direction. It's ours. It's got to have come off their player.
And you know what? I saw one of the Puerto Rico assistants doing the coach's challenge call for that as well. So everyone's got a different point of view as Hippolyte gets ejected into the game for the first time for New Zealand. McGoldrick, Richards.
4 seconds. Shot's got to go up. Shot's got to go up.
Hippolyte knows it, but the hand was in her face.
Wow, again, that's that example of shoot the ball if you can face the rim, and that's exactly what Hippolyte did, and the foul was called on Melendez.
Pretty disappointing from a Puerto Rico point of view. The shot clock was going to expire. No need to foul.
I mean, she really had no chance of getting that basket in. She was off balance, but again, exactly what you want to do.
She misses the first free throw, though. Lauren Hippolyte goes 0 from 2. Big missed opportunity. After Puerto Rico are getting themselves off to a good start off the back of Maya Hollingshed's 5 points to start this second period. Here she is again. What does Reed do this time to defend her? Hollingshed steps back. This time Reed claims the rebound. Stella Beck beat the buzzer in the first term. Gets it to Richards. Melendez gives Beck some space. Hippolyte with it now. Shot clock again ticking down. Is that 5 seconds? Oh, nice little feed to Richards, who couldn't complete the basket. It allows Girantes some space. Only New Zealand players up ahead of her. She tries to get past them both. The bench screaming for a call. There's emotions all over the court. Beck kept her feet. McGoldrick, Reed, Richards. Can she make the basket this time? No!
Great perseverance by Hollingshed. I thought that Puerto Rico were done there. It was a real advantage and they just couldn't convert. And now we see Hollingshed nail that 3 and change the momentum. All of a sudden, Puerto Rico are right on the heels of New Zealand.
Back-to-back threes from Maya Hollingshed to go with a 2-pointer earlier in the game. Hollingshed did it on the defensive end, got the block on Richards, and then gets the pass from Girantes, sets her feet, says thank you very much, and she is up to a game-high 14 points. Let's listen to Guy Malloy.
Shot on the mark. So we've drifted off little things here. Make sure we do a really strong job. Again, on our full action, get into the elbows before you cut off there. Okay, now we're going to run L, chase 8 on the third side. L, chase 8.
So Puerto Rico have gone on an 8-0 run to start this second period, and it's all been thanks to Maya Hollingshed. every point scored by her in this second period. What an impact.
Well, she has, and that's the exact reason why Guy Malloy called that timeout, to try and break this momentum that Puerto Rico have right now. So New Zealand have had some opportunities where they really should have converted on those baskets, and so they need to make sure that they take their time, and anytime on a good pass, go up strongly, get your eyes on your target nice and early.
Let's see how they respond out of the timeout. New Zealand. McGoldrick, Dalton, Puerto Rico pressing up high. Tamilo with nowhere to go. What a turnaround this has been.
Well, for New Zealand right now, their offense is just spluttering a little bit, so they've got to rely on some really good defense to, you know, to stay in this game and keep this margin close.
Girantes trying to swat Dalton out of the way. Hollingshed with the hot head, thinks about it. Then rolls for Melendez. Backs down on Dalton. And this time it doesn't fall. An opportunity for New Zealand here. Reed. Dalton. Back to Reed, who drives and can't score. Just too hot off the backboard. Melendez has Quinones and Jones ahead of her. Just goes back for the time being. Girantes pulls up, knocks it down! She joins the party!
Well, Puerto Rico there just had 5 players out at the three-point line just waiting for somebody to shoot it, and that is exactly what Girante did.
All of a sudden, Puerto Rico with the lead. 11-0 run this quarter alone. But Reed has a chance to go to the line and settle things for New Zealand.
And that will be Garante's second foul.
So a few players now in a bit of foul trouble. We know Whitaker got those 3 early fouls in the game. Haven't seen her for much of this game. And we know Benitez and Girantes now have 2 for Puerto Rico. So there's going to be a substitution out on the floor. Gibson's going to come back on. So too is Rosado.
I think there's probably a little bit of a blood rule perhaps for Girantes, with her lip might be slightly bleeding, and the referees have sent her off, but I'm sure that will be quickly patched up and she'll be back on the floor.
Reed knocks down the first points for New Zealand this term. And misses the second to Milo. She got fouled. Is that the way New Zealand get back into this game?
Well, I tell you what, you know, anytime there's a missed block out on a free throw, it's, you know, that's just something that shouldn't be done. But Tamila, great job. She used her length. She's the tallest player on the court right now, and she just used that long reach to secure that rebound.
That also marks Quinones a second foul. So a few things to think about for Puerto Rico. So you hear the communication now, making sure they do get that block out, but Tamilo's able to convert. Rosado. Haven't seen her as much as we did on Thursday night. Controlling things for Puerto Rico at the moment. Jones. She came on for Girantes with that bleeding lip. And McGoldrick tries to take advantage of the turnover into Beck. Slows it down, looks to run a play. Hippolyte. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dalton launches. And McGoldrick couldn't quite take a hold of it. Rosado and Hollingshed were sort of just looking at it.
It's almost like, you take it. No, you take it. But they have ended up getting the ball on the baseline.
And just like you said, Laurie, Girantes back on very quickly. And India Pagan also coming into the game for the first time.
Well, whilst Girantes has 5 points, To me, she feels like she could break open any time. She looks focused. She looks ready to play out there. And she's a tough to defend.
Here she is on cue. Girantes doesn't make the three. And I tell you what, it makes such a big difference when Hollingshed and Girantes and Quinones are all firing. There was a great stat you said at the start of the game. There was only 7 points between them.
Yeah, in that first game, and they look much more effective in this game.
And here comes the speedy Rosado down the floor, gets Girantes in the corner. New Zealand flood back. Pagan for an early look. McGoldrick able to clean things up. Stella Beck, the New Zealand captain. Hippolyte has a look. And New Zealand just start taking the right shots really at the moment. Haven't gone inboard as much as they should. Hollingshed has been taking the right shots. That one didn't fall. Dalton hustled. So did Rosado. Fouled. Or foul call.
I think that's another example of somebody like Dalton forced to handle the ball a little bit more than she's used to, and you know, under extreme pressure from Rosado, then turned it over. And that's the dilemma that Guy Malloy faces with this one young team and two players really playing out of position.
A good move though to bring on McKenna Dale. She has the 9 points for New Zealand. Girantes now has 7 for Puerto Rico. Reed with speed.
As easy as can be, Tara Reed.
Rosado into Girantes. New Zealand up by just a point. Hollingshed finds Girantes, but she had to go back and get it. Steps back on Dale. Gibson, great offensive rebound and great attack on the basket.
Well, it was really good movement off the ball for Reed to, for her to go in and get that and really come up with the ball. And now she finds herself at the foul line.
So Alison Gibson played the 7 minutes and got the 2 points against France on Thursday. She's on the scoreboard tonight. Now hush ringing around the arena. I know it's a lot of neutral fans in here, but everybody on the edge of their seats. 30 points apiece. Melendez replaces Pagan.
Well, this is the sort of game that we expected in today's match, with both these teams so much on the line, coming off of big losses, not wanting to repeat that.
Beck into Tamilo, good spin, can't get the finish.
Good choice of shots though for Tamilo.
Rosado, Hollingshed, Gibson attacking hard. Shot clock into single digits. Hollingshed got cut off by Beck. So 2.4 seconds left to put up a shot here.
Well, we saw Beck execute something with 5.4 seconds left on the shot clock. Let's see what Puerto Rico can come up with 2.4 seconds.
And looking at Hollingshed. And she gets it on cue, spinning. Can't convert though. Hippolyte has only Dale ahead of her. Finds Dale. Gibson hands it back to Rosado to start things over for Puerto Rico. Reed played good defense here. Hollingshed against the much smaller Hippolyte, bodying her. And then Rosado blocked by Tamilo.
Well, Tamilo made a good decision to go and help, because Hollingshed was going to keep walking down Hippolyte with that mismatch. So good decision. and then to have the frame of mind to be able to come back and block that shot. Great work.
That was a nasty swat by Tamilo. Benitez has to launch a long three. And New Zealand get the crucial stop. Timeout called on the floor. 1 point separates these two teams who are desperate to get one step closer to qualifying for the Olympics in Paris come July. Sky Malloy was the one who called the timeout. His team hasn't had a great second term, outscored 15-5 so far. Let's see what he has to say.
How about some rebounds? When the shots go up, we don't want it to be one shot. You have to make an extra effort. Second possession. Now, this play here, starting low. Stella's going to come in and drive off and lead the paint. Tori, you're going to be the pop. And over here.
One thing that's for sure for both teams, with 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes left in this first half, and such a close ball game, 1 point, you really want to make sure that you don't let one side or the other get a momentum swing in this last 2 minutes. So lock down defensively. Offensively, make sure you're executing, coming up with a good shot, and defensively, make sure you're getting a good block out and no second chance opportunities. So both teams will be wanting to go into this halftime break with just under 2 minutes to go with some sort of momentum, but that's not an easy thing.
Well, Girantes is bringing the momentum. 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, as we just saw. Only had the 5 points on Thursday. Here's Beck now, stepping around Girantes. Couldn't scoop it in. Here is Arela. Shares it with Hollingshed. The two superstars of this Puerto Rican team. Trying to guide them to a second Olympics. Melendez, we know she's a three-point shooter. She steps in this time. Gibson, Girantes. And they'll use up all the shot clock here. Girantes steps in. Dale couldn't quite hold on to the rebound. And good hustle there by Gibson. The bench love it.
Well, I tell you what, she's come up with some great offensive rebounds. She just goes in, she anticipates, she fights hard in there, and she just comes up with the scraps.
And it'll be a Puerto Rico ball, which is just the cherry on top to that effort. Under a minute left in the opening half. They lead by 1. Here is Gibson. Goes to Hollingshed this time. Girantes has to battle with McGoldrick. Stepping through and getting fouled on the way through.
And that's just Girantes using her strength and her ability to put the ball to the floor, get to the basket, finish with physicality. You know, she can shoot the three, so you've got to get up on her. And then she's able to wheel and deal. She likes to spin at the end of her move, and she finds herself at the foul line, although she missed the first one.
And also confirmation of Tamilo now up to 2 fouls. We know Whitaker's got the 3, so they've got to be careful here in New Zealand. Girantes misses both. Benitez. Dale gets harassed as soon as she gets it. Just had to throw it away. Benitez can try again. Goes inboard. Banks it home.
Well, that was just all effort by Puerto Rico to come up with that ball, to keep going with it when New Zealand had the possession, and they were rewarded with the 2 and now go up by 3 points.
2-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Can Dale give them a spark? Or can Girantes beat the buzzer for Puerto Rico? Gibson sets! Can't knock it down. And New Zealand breathed a sigh of relief, but that quarter belonged to Puerto Rico. New Zealand led by 9 at the end of the first term. Then Puerto Rico outscored them 17 points to 5 in that second period. And at halftime, the score reads Puerto Rico 33, leading New Zealand 30.
I have a feeling, I'm just watching Dale go off the screen there, and I feel like there were times in that last quarter she was a little bit proppy, and I think whatever she did at training may have just jarred it again, and I'll be surprised if we see her in the second half, although she does have halftime for the physios to work on her.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the stats, and it's pretty even, and it shows with the score. I know Puerto Rico got on a run, but New Zealand obviously still right in the game.
Well, they are, and you know, you have to give full credit to Hollingshed with her 14 points. But again, I've mentioned it, I think Gerlantes is just dangerous right now, and we know that she can explode on the scene, and so she's somebody they really have to focus on as well.
Absolutely. She's got the 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. She's on those 2 fouls, but what a start it was from Hollingshed. That's what prompted this Puerto Rico comeback.
Well, if you stand off me, I'm going to shoot the ball, and that's exactly what she did. And then she found other ways to score as well. You know, we saw her backing players down, which she can do, and she was ably assisted by her teammates. And the other player that I was really impressed with was Allison Gibson, and just the effort she brought with her offensive rebounding and giving them some second chance opportunities. And often that goes unheralded, but that can be the difference between, you know, having that energy or not.
So Gibson, 2 points. It doesn't read very pretty, but of her 5 rebounds, 3 have been offensive, like you mentioned. She's been great hustling for Puerto Rico. And New Zealand, on the other hand, they just looked a bit stagnant. They were missing really easy layups and missing easy baskets. It just shows what can happen when a team gets on a run, and Jones on the bench getting up and about.
Well, that's exactly right, and there wasn't a lot of highlights necessarily for New Zealand that game. As you said, they missed some shots that were really gettable. That was a beautiful drive by Tara Reid, going coast to coast in that instance, but they were all too far and few between.
Girantes was able to put the cherry on top with some really nice shot choices. And as you mentioned, we'll take a look at Dale. That might have been it, where she fell out of bounds and just lost her footing. We know she got that knock at training, so we'll keep a close eye on her. And you heard the yes from Benitez when that went in too.
Yes, and both coaches, both teams will have a lot to talk about at halftime, because we have one half to go, 20 minutes in this very crucial match.
Don't go anywhere. Puerto Rico leading by 3.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they'd do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Nice pass to Stewart. And the foul and 1. There was a chance for a 3-point play.
Ovinia. Reverse layup is good. So Spain now have a 3-point lead over Canada. 2 minutes left.
Some touches, see if he can get some either on the possession. Another block there by Saddle. It's going to stay here with 70 sheet.
Shooter. by Kiss. Sammy Hill losing his feet though. Oh, good defense, but even better offense. Nice little step through scoop layup by Agnes Studer.
Again, that's what we were talking about earlier on. Even late in the clock, they are positive and get shots they want to take. FIBA has plenty of time. Gets a big set, puts it up, just the three to go. Hungary with a 53-48 lead at the end of three.
Off up a couple of jab steps, now attacking. Rejected by Magmacor. She swallowed that basketball.
And Li Yuan just goes for the circus pass to young Li Wei. What a start for China on the timeout.
Oh,
What a block by Carlson.
oh.
At the buzzer, she just rejects Lauda Hill.
Well on top, look at this pass from Alamon. Make the easy play.
Great behind the back. No doubt that will be a highlight. Top 10 play. Beautiful pass.
They play in many respects like they're in an all-star game. Get it to Plum. He gets free. She puts it up. And are they going to count it? Has she made it? They're going to review it. They will go and review this. If they have won on that play, that will be a stunner from Breanna Stewart. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
来的这个中场，我们要来请 DJ 马为大家带来中场 DJ Show，Let's welcome。
Welcome back to Xi'an in China, where it's Puerto Rico leading New Zealand by 3 points at halftime. The game leaders Hollingshed with 14 points, Girantes with 5 assists, and Hollingshed also with 7 rebounds for Puerto Rico. But it's been a tale of 2 quarters so far. New Zealand owning the first and Puerto Rico dominating the second, Laurie.
Well, you've got to give full credit to Puerto Rico. They didn't panic when New Zealand came out really strongly. They made some adjustments at quarter time, and as you said, Hollingshed, she just owned that quarter, and it was really nice to watch the way that she played, the way she performed. We're going to have to be on double-double watch for her when she's got 7 rebounds already to go along with that 14 points.
Absolutely right. She's had a great second period and a great start overall to this game. New Zealand, on the other hand, they wouldn't be happy with that second period. They had a really good start to this game, and leading at the moment is Dale with 9 points, Tamilo with 3 assists, and also with the 5 rebounds. And it looks like Tamilo could hold the key potentially to a comeback and a way back into this game.
Well, she's one player that, you know, needs to stand up. We can see Dale standing under the basket there, not involved in the warm-up, so I'm assuming that means we will not see her in this second half, which was unfortunate because she really set things up for them early in the game when she came out. But we know she didn't play in that first game, and yeah, she looks pretty sore right now. So again, that's another injury that Coach Guy Malloy will have to come up with something to cover, and you know, with this young team, and see if he can put some things together and the players can execute.
Looking pretty sad there on the sidelines. She's got that ankle quite heavily taped. She couldn't even stand out of the basket for the warm-up, so it's pretty dire signs out there for Dale. And New Zealand as well. I mean, there's a few players in foul trouble, just adding to the pain. Whitaker on the 3 fouls. She got them in really quick succession. And then Tamilo and Beck also on the 2 fouls.
But you never know. You know, you can sometimes an injury, sometimes, you know, some adversity can galvanize a team, and you know, they've got 20 minutes to try and get over the line, and Puerto Rico will be thinking the exact same thing. We know they're an emotional team. They like to get out, and you know, when they score a basket, everybody gets up and about, and so that's what New Zealand's going to have to try and stem, not let them get any sort of roll. And certainly Puerto Rico will want to take advantage of the fact that New Zealand are down another player and put all their efforts in to try and secure this win. I'm excited for a great second half.
As am I. As is Coach Batista. We're hoping just delivering his final messages to his team.
Make sure we take care of it. When we shoot the ball, I want us jamming really hard. We've got to come up with extra possessions. Keep the ball moving. We can attack these guys. Keep it moving. Get the second side, get the third side. Good shot to present. Here we go.
Well, a very measured Guy Malloy in that lead up to the start of this next half, giving some very succinct instructions. Keep the ball moving. Try and get Puerto Rico in rotation so that they can then attack it. Puerto Rico have really specific instructions from Coach Batista as well. So which team can execute, which team can put their game plan in place over the other team, only time will tell, Julia.
Exactly right. And a reminder, if Puerto Rico win, they qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympics. China's lost to France, but it changes things a bit for New Zealand. They have to win by 48 or more to clinch their ticket. And the QR code on your screen tells you can download the Courtside 1891 app to catch up with all the action around the world from all the qualifying tournaments, make sure you head to the FIBA website for the full list of the permutations. It's pretty complicated to work out. There's a lot still on the line. And it's Puerto Rico who will start things off in this third period. Melendez, Hollingshed, Girantes, Quinones, and Benitez on the floor. Benitez can't get the start she wanted, but Melendez, a good offensive rebound. Hollingshed steps into the shot and knocks it down. What a start from Hollingshed.
Well, she just stepped into that shot beautifully, caught it in rhythm, let it go, and on the first touch, nails that three.
Beck, McGoldrick, Tamilo, Reed, and Dalton all starting on the floor for New Zealand. Here is Tedar Reed. She's got to do it all for New Zealand now. And a good attack sends her to the line.
She's got a really explosive drive, Tara Reid, and she needs to take advantage of that. And as she goes into the basket, you know, absorb that contact, as we can see there. And, you know, she wasn't able to finish, but she certainly finds herself to the line. But, wow, they've got to stop Hollingshed somehow.
And Reed's been the one to defend her. We saw her a few times. She left sort of a hand by her side, and it left Hollingshed enough room. So she might have to change her approach defensively. But some good steadying free throws for New Zealand to start off the third period. As you can see, both teams haven't shot the free throw particularly well. 54% to 50 from Puerto Rico. That's not going to cut it if you want to try and book your ticket to Paris. Hollingshed, though, she wants to get on that plane.
She certainly does. She's putting the team on her back and saying, let's go to Paris.
19 points for Maya Hollingshed. She gets another rebound and keeps rising in her double-double tally. Her 8th rebound of the game. Girantes behind the back, a bit too much on it. Beck just backtracks. Luckily, Dalton was there to help. Back to Beck, back to Dalton, now Reed. McGoldrick. A nice, good basket from her. She hasn't quite had the same impact as she had on Thursday night, but that's a good start.
It really was a good decision to pull up for that jump shot. There were players waiting in there to swat it away if she went all the way, so it was a good decision.
Beck, critical steal. And she's off and running against Hollingshed. Steps around her. It was a good decision. Just couldn't make the basket count. And then commits her 3rd foul. So her and Whitaker on 3 for New Zealand. It'll be Girantes to bring up the ball. She's been super impressive. 7 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And an offensive foul on Melendez. New Zealand bench trying to inject some energy into their players on the floor. Down by 4 points.
Well, it's just such a long ways to go. They just have to make sure, New Zealand, they get a good look at the basket every single time.
And that's not going to help McGoldrick.
No, those sort of mistakes, they're their own worst enemy right now for that, to step out of bounds on that. And give the ball back to Puerto Rico for another chance to extend this lead.
And the question on everyone's lips, where is Maya Hollingshed? It's with the very capable Arela Girantes. But Hollingshed with the hot hand right now. Can Benitez join the party? She can!
Well, you know the scout on her is that she's a 3-point shooter with a quick release, but we see Tara Reid.
And that's been her game. She's been super fast bringing it up the floor. Sometimes it's paid off, sometimes it hasn't. But it's worth continuing to try. Hollingshed left open. That is not the right thing to do. Luckily for New Zealand, she couldn't capitalize.
Well, Puerto Rico are shooting the 3-ball much better than they did in their first game.
Reed, McGoldrick wants to respond. Tamilo, strong hands. Beck, can she go from the other end? No. McGoldrick, strong hands. It eventually rolls for New Zealand.
Well, that's what you call perseverance and second chance opportunities, and that's exactly what New Zealand need to do. They need to stay in touch with this, you know, emotional, exciting Puerto Rican team.
That's exactly what Guy Malloy said heading into the third period. Repeat chances. And an error from Girantes sends it out of bounds. And interestingly, Lauren Whitaker back on. She's got those 3 fouls, but Guy Malloy chooses to inject her back in now for some energy and some spark. She provided that in spades on Thursday for this team. Here she is with an early look and knocks it down.
Well, that'll do a whole lot for her confidence that a shot was made instead of foul called. Hopefully she can continue.
Good decision by Reid to feed her and give her that confidence. This young New Zealand team. Benitez. Nice cut from Quinones, but Whitaker read it better.
Yes, exactly. So now Whitaker's had 2 good things happen to her.
Oh, nice cut to Reid, and she makes no mistake.
Well, just like that, it is back to a 1-point game, and the momentum is all with New Zealand. And a good timeout called by Coach Batista.
A 6-0 run heading into this timeout. Beck, a beautiful feed to Ra Reid, who easily banks it in. That takes their tally up to 7 points for the game. The bench are up and about. How quickly a game can turn. Let's listen to the Puerto Rico huddle.
Not Rico hands off with Ali.
Final words from Coach Batista. His team still hanging on by a point, but New Zealand have started to come back into this one.
And I think New Zealand, you know, the reason that they came back in there was largely on the part of Tara Reid, really moving well off the ball. That we saw that backdoor cut just before the timeout was called, but just being aggressive. And then of course Whitaker coming onto the court and doing a couple of really good things has settled this New Zealand team down.
Although for Puerto Rico, Maya Hollingshed has just brought up her double-double, 19 points and 10 rebounds. Here's Girantes now. Can't quite claim the offensive rebound. Beck, all eyes up ahead. Ooh, had Reid next to her. Thought she was behind her.
And there we see that energizer in Gibson coming on the court, and we know that she came up with some great offensive rebounds that first half. And there again, she got her hand, a little deflection, and now they have to set up something different.
McGoldrick to Beck. Gets some assistance from Whitaker, who's rolling but not used. Reid, 2 seconds left. She gets blocked by Hollingshed. Shot clock expired.
Great job by Hollingshed just to time that block perfectly when Reid had a full steam ahead going to the basket.
Rosado into Girantes into Rosado. 3 blocks tonight for Hollingshed to go with that double-double. Can she add to her tally here? Trying to roll around McGoldrick. It was good defense by Ezra. And she gets the rebound.
That was what you call rebound by committee.
Absolutely.
There
and she
go.
completes it on the offensive end.
Just caught Puerto Rico sleeping a little bit. They were all trying to match up on a certain player and left her wide open.
New Zealand back in front. 4 minutes left, an 8-0 run in this last 3 minutes. Rosado behind the back, Quinones for the triple!
Quinones! That's her second triple for the game, is it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
The Bigs knocking it down from long range. Puts her team back in front. Beck can't roll it in.
And a great block up by Quinones, but there's that move by Gibson.
How good has she been? She's done it all defensively. She gets some reward finally offensively. Her 4th point for the game. Her team up by 4. Reed can't cut the margin down.
And those are those little easy ones that New Zealand have been missing.
Girantes, she misses.
There's
and another offensive rebound.
Exactly, another board by Gibson.
Certainly not the tallest player out there, but she's acting like
oh my goodness,
6'4" or something.
Allison Gibson.
Back-to-back buckets for the Puerto Rican guard. And they've come out firing out of the timeout.
Well, they're mixing up their defense. They're in a 2-3 zone, but great find by Tara Reid to her teammate, Ezra McGoldrick.
And McGoldrick's had a good little couple of minutes here. Gets herself up to 10 points for the game, 6 rebounds. Hollingshed, a double-double. Can't add to her tally, and finally Beck takes an offensive rebound off Gibson. McGoldrick gets slapped out of her hands. And it was a foul, and I think that's on Girantes. I think that'll be
her third foul.
Yep.
Girantes. She thought she got all ball in there, but the referees thought differently.
So some subs are going to come on for both teams. Number 1, Melendez for Puerto Rico. Number 2, Hippolyte for New Zealand. 2 shots to come for Ezra McGoldrick. Back-to-back double-figure games for her, but that won't help.
Those foul shots you were talking about earlier, they're just, you need, and we said that earlier over and over, you need to get those foul shots in, especially when it's a close game as it is.
Puerto Rico with the 3 team fouls for the quarter, New Zealand with the 1. There will be chances at the free throw line. The way the referees are calling as well, super consistent in the way they've been officiating the game. Girantes, good hustle from Dalton. It affects the shot. The much smaller Dalton.
But even on that shot, you could see Allison Gibson. She is relentless going after those O boards.
Great observation. She is doing it all for Puerto Rico. I know the attention will be on Hollingshed, and rightly so, but Gibson has played a great part. So too Whitaker. Couldn't complete the shot. Kicks it back out to Dalton. Beck, Hippolyte. Whitaker calling for it. She's up against the smaller Gibson. Beck just steams in and takes it home.
Wow, what poise by New Zealand. They were looking at every option, and Puerto Rico were shutting them down, but in the end, it was Beck driving straight down the lane.
Girantes rolling, gets her own rebound. Gibson from the corner, she deserves this. It falls short. Whitaker into McGoldrick, into Beck. Just over a minute left in this 3rd period. Beck spinning, shooting and scoring.
Stella Beck is playing a captain's role in this game tonight.
12 points for her tonight. New Zealand outscoring Puerto Rico 19-15 so far. There's under a minute left in the 3rd. 49 plays 48. Girantes. Triple teams. And an offensive foul is called. That's her 4th.
That's her 4th, and again, that's the 2nd charge that Stella Beck has taken clearly on her numbers, getting across on time. And that is critical with Garantes and 4 fouls. Again, you can see Beck coming across from that split line, putting her body on the line for her team.
Now she's playing a role in offense. Gets it to Hippolyte. Back to Stella Beck. Up against the taller Hollingshed, decides to drive on her, decides to step around her, and decides to score!
She's got a little smile on her face. Puerto Rico have 5 seconds now to score, and it's in the right person's hands.
Oh, and 2 shots is the call. So Hollingshed will head to the line. Dalton, I think the foul was called on. Big moment for Hollingshed. Free throws haven't been converted quite well this game. And she goes 1 from 2. Beck only has a second to put it up. The shot falls short, but New Zealand came back with a vengeance in that 3rd period after Puerto Rico outscored them 17 points to 5. New Zealand go 21 to 16 in the 3rd period. And it's a 2-point lead. And at the end of the 3rd period, confirmation of the scores. 51 plays 49.
Well, I'm not sure, Julia, we could say that either team owned that quarter as we did the first half. It was a real grind-em-out game, and you felt like Puerto Rico was going to get a little bit of momentum, and then New Zealand got back. They got 4 points ahead, then Puerto Rico. So it's a real grind right now, back and forth game, and it is fun to watch.
The stats on your screen now as we watch Sky Malloy talking. A lot better 3-point shooting for Puerto Rico. That might be the difference heading into this 4th period.
Well, that and free throws, oh my goodness.
I know, you hate them.
Well, you've got to make them, and they're so crucial, and then blocking out and getting those rebounds. Gibson's done a fantastic job of being a real influence on the offensive rebounds and giving her Puerto Rican team some second chance opportunities.
6 rebounds for Gibson, 4 of those offensive, but 10 rebounds for Hollingshed. She's got 20 points to go with it in double-double territory, well and truly. She might have to keep stepping up again if she wants to get this team a win and a ticket to Paris. They need to win this game to go to the Olympics for the 2nd time.
Well, and very interesting with Galantes getting her 4th foul very late in that quarter. I would assume that she will sit for a little while, and you know, the start of this quarter, maybe come in at the 7 or 6 minute mark, but that will be an opportunity for New Zealand to try and attack a little bit more. But it also puts the pressure more on Hollingshed, and she's handled it beautifully.
She's carried this team on her back. Puerto Rico need to win to book their ticket to Paris. New Zealand have to fight hard to try and join them on that plane. But it's anyone's game right now. 2 points the margin as we tip off the 4th period. 51 plays 49. Everything on the line in this Olympic qualifying tournament here in Xi'an. McGoldrick in the corner to light it up. Melendez strong on the rebound. And it's going to be efforts like that that get your team over the line tonight. Strong hustle plays. Benitez to Rosado. As you said, Laurie Girantes not out there to start this quarter for Puerto Rico. Jones has a big role to play. Oh, and she nearly got off to a good start.
Well, they did a good job in that play phase to make Benitez put it on the ground, because get her off the 3-point line. They know how deadly she is from there.
Oh, and Beck caught in 2 minds. Apologized to the bench. She's been fantastic this game, Stella Beck, though. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. She too could join Hollingshed in double-double range. Rosado, Hollingshed, Benitez, pulls up, Dalton. Joined on the court by Hippolyte, Beck, and Whitaker. And McGoldrick as well, sorry. Whitaker gives her some direction. Dalton pulls up. McGoldrick just snatches it out of Jones's hands. Couldn't bank it home. Hollingshed. Melendez ahead against a smaller Hippolyte. And she can't bank it home. Good effort there by Hippolyte.
Well, good follow-up by all the players out there. You can just see the desperation, and it's still super physical out there.
Despite many players in foul trouble, they're going for it. Reed's going to come back into the game for Dalton.
That just gives them a little bit more height again, with Tara Reed in there alongside Whitaker and McGoldrick.
7 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists for Tara Reed this game. Beck can't get her 16th point. Rosado still with it. Feeds Jones, and Jones pays her back.
Great shot by Jones.
Puts her team back in front. The seesawing contest continues. A nice swat by Benitez.
See what New Zealand can execute from this out-of-bounds play. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
A lot of noise out there on the floor. Whitaker steps back. Falls short. Rosado yet to score this game. Pamela Rosado, the captain. Hollingshed. Jones steps into the 2. Whitaker. Oh, it gets snatched out of her hands. Well done, Brianna Jones. Benitez steps into the 3. And McGoldrick breathes a sigh of relief. Reed for 3. It trickles out of bounds. And as is the situation for New Zealand, we mentioned they don't have a designated point guard, so you see often Stella Beck behind the action, calling the play for the point guard who's with the ball. I mean, it's a strange situation.
It's just something you have to do when you have injuries and you come into a tournament like this.
Rosado. Hollingshed for 3. McGoldrick another rebound. Nearly took another step. And Beck with the ball now, getting to call her own play. Taking her time. Stepping off Benitez. Whitaker. Deshigo gets it back to Beck. Bit short on the shot. Rosado drives and gets her first points of the game.
What a great recognition by Rosado to get her first points there. No split line help. Nobody came across to help her teammate.
New Zealand yet to score in this 4th period. Can Beck provide the difference? She does, and gets the and 1.
Wow, there are bodies flying everywhere. We talked about having fireworks all week, given that it's the Lunar New Year's, and there are fireworks on the court right now, Julia.
Absolutely right. The celebrations continuing here in Xi'an.
Well, I'm not sure if there's celebrations on the court. It's
definitely
just
not.
Fireworks. Both desperate. Both teams are just desperate to come up with this win.
It's explosive out there as Beck steps up to the line. She stood up for this young team. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists.
I would think we would see Quinones back on the floor pretty soon.
Oh, and Beck hit the deck. I reckon they're going to call a foul here. The refs have had to keep an eye on these players. Like you said, Laurie, lots of bodies hitting the deck, even when the ball isn't in play. I think they're going to have a little chat here, the two referees, Urishima and Chueka. It'll be the second official review of the game.
So if the criteria meets the, if the contact meets the criteria of an unsportsmanlike foul. The rebound situation after the basket. Okay. This is normal speed?
No, it's not.
Can you give it me in a normal speed, please?
Which camera angle you want?
Main camera, normal speed, please.
1号机位正常速度。1号机位正常速度。1号机位正常速度。这不是1号机位。
Okay. No, can you give me the camera you have in a normal speed? The previous camera?
刚才那个机位
On
是
the
正
app?
常速度，再来一遍。
The app, no. The one on the top?
8号机
No.
位正常速度来。
Okay. One more time in a slow motion, please.
再来一遍8号机位。
No, from up, please. So let's check for an excessive.
8号机位再来一遍50%。
Just in normal from the up, and can you go slow motion to check the point of contact?
接触的时候停一下。
Okay.
Okay.
那慢一
There
点。
is no
慢一点
follow through.
This is not a basketball play. Is it for you a basketball play?
Yeah, it's a basketball play.
This is a basketball play. Can you put it to me in a slow motion?
Want it slower?
Yeah, and I want to see the eyes of the player.
全程再慢一点，再慢一点。
Go. Okay, the handstand. This is nothing related for a basketball play.
She never extend the full arm.
That's-
That means no follow through.
That's true. There's no follow through, but we are talking about sexy contact. Okay, so we go. We're gonna go for like. Can you give me one more time in normal speed, please? In normal
angle?
speed, main camera. Yeah.
Main camera?
Main camera, normal. The one you turn on the top.
Okay. Number 8, right?
Yeah.
8号机位再来一个正常速度来一个。
So we did not extend the forehand. We're just checking for excessive or not excessive contact, okay?
然后8号机位正常速度，麻烦再来一个。
We go.
正常速度。
Okay, this is for me excessive. This is not a box out situation. This is the player going against the other player.
Okay.
For me, that's excessive.
No
So,
problem.
are you agree with?
I agree.
So you.
This is no basketball play.
Okay, so we're gonna go with after review we agree of. Can you give me the number of the player? Number 2 made the unsportsmanlike foul. We have 2 shots for number 7, white. We go.
For 5 minutes.
We are great in the situation.
Wow, what a discussion that was. That was so interesting. The referees not agreeing at the start and then eventually reaching the call of the unsportsmanlike foul against Jones. It sends Stella Beck back to the line for another 2 shots.
Well, I loved how the referees went to such detail to look at that. Different angles, slow motion. Was it excessive? Was it a basketball move? All those things to come up with the to the answer to what they were looking at.
It's good to see the referees respect how much is on the line in this game too. And, you know, as a player, I wonder how much a stoppage like that affects you. I wonder which team a stoppage like that would benefit. Beck goes 1 from 2. New Zealand edge in front. 6 minutes left in the 4th period.
Edge in front is the right term too.
See that free throw presented. Oh! Offensive foul called on Milo. Oh.
Well, here we go. 6 minutes left in this game, this 1-point game.
Confirmation that was Milo's third foul. Jones just committed the unsportsmanlike a moment ago. Benitez, a good drive, will get rewarded at the charity stripe.
Aren't you a bit surprised that Girantes isn't on the court yet? Well, I guess it's still 6 minutes to go, but we can see Allison Gibson is coming in for the designated shooter, and we know what an impact she had when she's on the court.
I think that's an equally good move. I mean, it's a toss of the coin whether you throw the dice, you roll the dice now and put Girantes on, or you wait a little longer, maybe till the team's back in front and she can capitalize on that momentum. Who knows? I certainly wouldn't want to be in Coach Batista's shoes. That's what I know for sure.
Oh, this is the best time to be a coach for
Really?
for Guy Malloy or Coach Batista. This is why it's nice to be sitting in the commentary box.
Yeah. You can say that now sitting from commentary position. And another offensive foul, and I think that was on Stella Beck. Another big moment in the game. Subs coming off and on everywhere. Gibson coming straight off. In fact, everyone's going to come off. A timeout called on the floor. This could be crucial. A chance for Guy Malloy to address his team. They're 1 point down.
Well, that's Stella Beck's third foul, so she's still okay. She's got 1 foul to give before it becomes a real concern. But either way, both coaches are going to be talking about, I think that break in the game there for that length of time probably put both teams a little bit off rhythm. So this is a good chance for the coaches to get them refocused, know exactly what they need to do in this last 5 and a bit minutes.
Absolutely right. You can see the stats on your screen there. New Zealand, just the 3 3-pointers for their game. Puerto Rico have knocked down 10. But the points in the paint is pretty stark, isn't it? 28 points to 16, despite New Zealand being the smaller and inexperienced team.
Well, it's largely on the back of some of the drives by Tara Reid or Ezra Goldrick. They've done a great job of getting their feet in the paint, as has Stella Beck. You know, she's gone hard. She's, like I say, I've been really impressed with her game because she's not necessarily known as a scorer, but more of a facilitator. But she's had to step up in that role in today's game.
So New Zealand 7 points to 4 in this 4th period. Down by a point against Puerto Rico. And we still don't see Girantes out there for the team. It'll be Melendez, Rosado, Benitez, Jones, and Hollingshed on the floor. Hollingshed's gone a little quiet since reaching her double-double. Jones stepping in and around Reid. Here is Hollingshed. McGoldrick to Beck. 18 points for Stella Beck. Goes one way then the other, then bounce pass to Whitaker. Didn't utilize the space. Dalton. Benitez grabs it. So much tension out there as we tick over the halfway mark of the 4th period. Still anyone's game. And that is Whitaker's 4th.
Smart move by Hollingworth. She had Whitaker on her and she knew she had the foot speed to take her to the rim, and that's exactly what she did.
But now comes the crucial moment, Laurie. We haven't seen good free throw percentage all game. A chance for Hollingshed to keep pushing her team in front. And she misses the first. We saw Gibson back onto the floor as well. I think, to me, she probably needs to stay on for the rest of the game, nearly.
Wow.
That's a big moment.
Another opportunity gone missing.
You must be pulling your hair out as a former coach right now. Beck onto her left. Can't bank it in, but was fouled on the approach. She'll go to the line for 2. Melendez says, me? Really? So 2 shots to come for the New Zealand captain. She has gone in so hard all game, Stella Beck. And another free throw goes begging. 3 missed in a row.
Right now, Puerto Rico is shooting the free throws at 55% and New Zealand at 50%. So it's not much better. Both teams have had their opportunities. And we see Garantes entering the court now for this final 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Coach Batista recognizes the moment. Melendez off with her 4th foul. Rosado now. Scores level. Can Garantes provide the difference? Hollingshed, Benitez. She wants to shoot that 3. She tries to find the right position. McGoldrick swatted it away.
That was a bit of indecision on the part of Puerto Rico.
Stella Beck, the New Zealand captain. Reed driving around Girantes.
Good decision. Well, to try and get her in her 4th foul, or no, she might have to change her defense. But Girantes did a great job. Whitaker coming up with a crucial steal.
She's still out there on the 4th foul. She's not giving up. McGoldrick into Reed. Wanted McGoldrick back. Then went herself. Whitaker deserves the 3.
Oh, and she gets it! Goodness! The 18-year-old from New Zealand!
In her first senior tournament for this team. Comes up clutch.
What a great shot by Lauren Whitaker. She just looked so confident stepping back. As that drive was taken, she created a bit more space. And then, see the drive, it's like a bailout pass coming back around and nothing but net on that shot.
Whitaker up to 5 points, 4 rebounds and 4 fouls. Coach Batista would have so much of his mind right now, as would Guy Malloy, mind you.
Oh my goodness, there's still so much time left in this game. 3:42, a 3-point lead to New Zealand. Puerto Rico have so many weapons out there in, 3-point shooter in Benitez. Obviously, we see Garantes come back in the start. We know what Hollingshed's done. 20 points to so far. So, lots to play out here still in this vital game to qualify for the Paris Olympics.
And for New Zealand, it's been Stella Beck. She's been the key to them getting the lead right now. Her and McGoldrick, the only 2 New Zealand players in double figures. Benitez and Hollingshed, the only 2 in double figures for Puerto Rico.
You've got to give Whitaker full credit. She's came on, got 2 quick fouls, went off, came on, got her 3rd, then her 4th, and yet she's still playing with a lot of confidence.
A picture of persistence is Lauren Whitaker at 18 years old. But for now, it's about Puerto Rico. What can they do to respond? Benitez!
That is exactly what they can do to respond, and we just mentioned her name as that 3-point shooter. She came off that little pin down, ready to shoot it.
The second 3 of the quarter for Puerto Rico. It draws the scores level. Whitaker, she might be the difference for New Zealand.
But again, that was a nice pass, nice uses of the screen, and looking from captain Stella Beck.
Quinones. Girantes on the 4 fouls, stepping back on McGoldrick. Reed just claims the rebound. Every touch matters, every moment. Stella Beck. Whitaker providing some assistance, then can't get it back.
Beck just forced that a little bit too much there. Then we see Garantes. No, but a foul's called.
So Tara Reid the one who committed the foul, and I think Guy Malloy is asking for a challenge, a coach's challenge. Staring straight in the referee's face as well, if you don't mind. So the coach's challenge isn't granted. I thought I saw Guy Malloy providing the signal, and I know as for a rule, you can call one at any point in the game. Wow. Girantes though. Reed feeling frustrated. She was the one that committed that foul and then hit the deck. And 2 shots, it's over the limit. Some big moments here in this game. Reed boxing out and then got in the tangle with Girantes. 2 fouls in quick succession. 2.5 minutes. Puerto Rico need to make the most of their driving opportunities to get to the foul line and then do that. We haven't seen that happen for a lot of this game, just converting those free throws.
Really important to get a good, solid block out on this shot.
Reed went a bit softer that time on the block out though. Scores back level, 61 apiece. 2.5 minutes left in this game.
Actually, that last foul shot put them up by 1 point. Shot by Whitaker.
Puerto Rico ball. So much noise out there. Everything on the line for Puerto Rico. If they win, they're on the plane to Paris. Went to their first Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2020. Can they back it up?
Great active hands by New Zealand, just taking them out of their rhythm and the play that they had set up to execute. Just under 2 minutes to play and a 1-point ball game.
Quinones, Melendez. One way then the other. Some good thinking, just didn't roll. A chance for New Zealand to go back in front. Stella Beck. Reed for 3. Whitaker reaching, but Quinones with the safe hands.
Great block out by Quinones to secure that ball. Then probably a foul that Whitaker didn't need to take because they didn't need to stop the clock at this stage, and now it sends Puerto Rico and Quinones to the foul line.
Isalis Quinones, she had a really good start to this game, has gone quiet ever since. And confirmation, that's Whitaker's 5th. She's out of this game. Well, sorry, it's her 4th, in fact. Out of this game for now, at least, just by coach's decision rather than foul call. And that one just rattles in.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
That's what she says.
It's really important everybody knows the time and the score to know whether you need a 3 or know whether you need a 2.
And they're going to have a timeout to talk it over. Puerto Rico go up by 3. Off the back of 4 free throws in a row. New Zealand heading into the bonus. Has given Guy Malloy a bit to think about.
Well, the thing that they have to realize, and that's why I say everybody needs to understand the score and the time. Right now they don't need a, I mean, they could take a 3 and that would be great if they made it, but that's not, they don't absolutely need that. They can get a great 2-point look if they set something up that they want to execute for New Zealand. But then Puerto Rico really have to take care of the ball and make sure when they have that possession that they really get something, you know, a well-done play out of it.
So much on the line. 3 points the difference between these two teams, and Stella Beck, as you can see, has led the way for New Zealand. The 4 assists as well. McGoldrick's got herself up to 10 rebounds. This young team Without their leaders, without Penina Davidson, without Charlize Ledger-Walker, without Crystal Ledger-Walker, without Talia Tupaya.
And then, of course, McKenna Dale started this game, but
yes.
she got injured again in that first half and hasn't been spotted at all this second half.
Ezra McGoldrick, a double-double for her. She's been pivotal in this game.
And Guy Malloy's chosen to advance the ball, so he'll have 14 seconds on the shot clock, because the clock becomes really important in these situations. So they want to make sure they get a good look at the basket and a good shot up with 14 seconds.
So here we go, under 90 seconds left in this game. Can Puerto Rico book their ticket to Paris, or can New Zealand stay alive in this tournament and fight for their first Olympics in 15 years? Tamilo gets fouled. Big free throws coming up for this young center. It's pretty good defense from Quinones, but Hollingshed probably with the unnecessary reach. 8 points and 6 rebounds for Tamilo. New Zealand within 2. Guy Malloy can only watch. She makes the second. Good set of free throws when it matters.
Now it's up to Puerto Rico to execute something, be confident in what they're doing.
Benitez to Hollingshed for 3. Falls short. A chance for New Zealand to go up ahead. Geraldo Batista patrolling the sideline. He's pacing up and down. Stella Beck, 19 points for her. Reed wanted the cutting Tamilo. Tamilo instead providing the screen. Stella Reed bounces back in. Hippolyte rolls in. New Zealand back in front. What a chance for Lauren Hippolyte to get her first points of the game.
Wow. Again, I give full credit to Stella Beck controlling that on the dribble. She was looking to maybe have a reverse layup. She didn't have it. And then the presence of mind of Laura Hippolyte and her vision, great cut off the ball.
Oh, didn't it need to wait? The spin around the rim. Oh my goodness.
Adding to the drama of this game, of course that's what's going to happen.
Oh, the agony. And the bench elated. The Puerto Rico in focus now. They're down by a point. They've got 48 seconds left. I wonder if Coach Batista elects to head up the floor. He has no timeouts left. Guy Malloy has 1.
So there's still, there's still a couple of possessions left in this game, well and truly.
Oh, there's just so much tension. I'm nervous watching on. My hands are sweating.
Well, Puerto Rico certainly have, as we've mentioned, the players out there to get the job done. Hollingshed, as we see her walking onto the court. Garantes. Well, we know Benitez can certainly shoot the 3, so they do have lots of weapons out there. It's now up to New Zealand to play some really good defense. Don't want to send them to the line, anybody to the line, so it's got to be rock solid. Lots of communication, lots of talk up the switches, and make sure you're being very, very active.
So Garantes from the sidelines. Milan Whitaker both on 4 fouls, as is Garantes. Puerto Rico desperate for a trip to Paris for the Olympics. Garantes behind the back, driving on McGoldrick. Tamilo there to help, but it doesn't matter! That is clutch from Arayla Garantes!
That's why she is known to be a superstar of that team, the go-to player out there. And that's exactly what she brought on that last possession.
This is Guy Malloy's final timeout for the game. After that, there's 35 seconds for New Zealand to try and get back in front. But how about this from Arayla Garantes behind the back? The help defense didn't matter. She just rose over the top of the towering Tamilo. Puts her team back in front. Has she done enough to get them to Paris?
That was some pretty good defense by Tamila. Her hands were straight up, and as you said, a really good shot to arc that ball over the outstretched hand. So now we've got the situation. New Zealand will advance the ball. They'll be looking for either a 2-point or a 3-point play, doesn't matter. If they don't score, they'll want to foul straight away and stop the clock and see if then they can get another chance at a possession.
Of course, in the bonus, so they send Puerto Rico to the free throw line with the foul attempts as well. That's something to factor in. There's so much to factor in at the moment. 3 players on 4 fouls out there on the floor just to add to the drama. It's 1 point between these two teams. A win for Puerto Rico sends them to Paris.
And this is what the qualifiers are all about, Julia. This excitement, the passion of both teams. Both teams have left everything on the court.
Absolutely. We've talked about how many bodies have hit the deck throughout the night. And it all comes to a hush as New Zealand advance the ball as confirmed. McGoldrick looking for someone to assist her. She gets Stella Beck, the captain. 10 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Reed driving hard against Hollingshed. McGoldrick left open. It doesn't fall. Beck keeps it in.
They need to foul straight away to stop the clock.
Melendez up ahead on her own. And she makes it. She puts Puerto Rico up by 3. New Zealand just have to go. No timeouts left. 10 seconds on the clock. Reed gets blocked out of the way. Girantes gets fouled. The Puerto Rico bench full of excitement.
Well, they can smell it, they can see it. They're up by 3 with 6 seconds to go and foul shots to come.
Wow. What drama. Melendez had so much space ahead of her to make that basket. Batista calls the players back to the sideline to have a chat as Girantes lines up for her free throws. She can't make the first.
The door is slightly open. There's no timeout, remember, for Guy Malloy, so if she misses, they've got to secure the rebound, get it up the court, and shoot a 3.
She makes the second one, though, and that might be enough for Puerto Rico. 5 seconds left for Stella Beck just to go. She puts it in. 1.2 seconds left. Puerto Rico can just hold it. And Puerto Rico have booked their ticket to Paris. They go to the Olympics for just the 2nd time in their history.
And you can see the emotion just bubbling over for all those players.
Tears all around the Puerto Rican huddle. Rosado, the spiritual leader, the 37-year-old, full of tears. Final score here in Xi'an, Puerto Rico 69, defeating New Zealand 67 to head to the 2024 Paris Olympics.
What an amazing effort by this young, depleted New Zealand team. I know they don't want to hear it now, but they can hold their heads high, but they'll be certainly disappointed. But Puerto Rico, they are ecstatic, and so they should be. They are off to Paris.
And what an effort it was. They had so many contributors out on the floor. Hollingshed and Benitez, 2 of them. Hollingshed with the 20 points and 14 rebounds. Benitez, the 13 points and 3 triples. New Zealand just have to walk back to their rooms and hold their head up high. It wasn't to be for them tonight. And that pretty much rules them out of the Paris Olympics. But Puerto Rico, Coach Gerardo Batista, full of emotion. Tears from grown men and women on the floor. Nearly tears in the commentary box as well. I mean, it's amazing.
It's so great to see. It's so great to see a team like Puerto Rico who, you know, they just battled and battled against their opposition, and finally they got ahead of New Zealand, a gallant New Zealand, and it was a real team effort for all of them. And don't you love to see the smile on all their faces?
Absolutely. We know they tasted the Olympics for the first time in 2020 at Tokyo. They're going to Paris for their second ever Olympics. Olympics for back-to-back times. For players, for these players, smiles and hugs. They'll be celebrating long into the night. They still have another game to come tomorrow. That'll just be full of celebrations.
Well, for 5 of those players, this will be their second trip to the Olympics, and for some of those players, this will be their first time at an Olympics Games. It's amazing.
And don't they deserve it? I mean, they've worked so hard for it, not just this game, but the lead up to the tournament, the lead up since the last Olympics. I mean, it wasn't their best campaign. They came 12th, but they have worked so hard in the AmeriCup, in the Pan American Games, all these players in their local leagues, and then beating New Zealand tonight.
They would be loving posing for photos right now.
This is what it's all about. This is what you play for. How exciting. As we take a look at the final stats from the game, as you can see, the 3-point percentage, as I talked about earlier on, proved the difference. They edged ahead in rebounds as well, Puerto Rico. Other than that, it was pretty even, as the score suggests.
Yeah, you can see the evenness in turnovers, in assists, and that's obviously how the score reflected it. But look at the scoring there. We know that Hollingshed just led the way, but Violantes came up with some pretty crucial things at the end.
An amazing feeling for Puerto Rico. They're on the plane to Paris. As we take a look at the fourth quarter best plays, and wasn't a pretty quarter by any means, but it was Puerto Rico that made the difference. They outscored New Zealand 20 points to 16. They fought all the way to the end, and they get the ultimate reward.
Well, they do, and you know, again, I was impressed with both teams, that the closeness of the game, neither team panicked, everybody got it through hands, and we can see Rosado there hadn't scored all game, and you know, able to find a way to the basket and finish, so she was crucial. Stella Beck battled hard all game. You know, she was a real leader out there for her team. But I don't think enough can be said about Hollingshed. She's actually a naturalized player, got naturalized in July of 22. They wanted to get a player that could continue to progress the program, and no doubt she has done that. She has been a valuable contributor to this Puerto Rico team.
20 points, 7 from 20 from the field, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks for Maya Hollingshed. That's what I call coming up clutch.
Well, and she used her athleticism was on display at both ends of the court, and can't say enough about how important she was in this game.
But she also had a lot of contributors come with her. I mean, Aurelia Guinantes battled through those 4 fouls, 13 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds she finished with. And Benitez, super impressive and super calm and composed from the 3-point line to get herself 13 points.
And what about Allison Gibson?
Absolutely.
You know, I'm not sure how many she scored, but
6 points.
6 points, but she had such an impact on the game with her offensive rebounding and just her tenaciousness to come up with the ball and give her team the second chance opportunities that they did.
7 rebounds to Gibson, 4 of those offensive. She's a definition of a hustle player, and that at the end from Melendez secured the win for Puerto Rico, and then it erupted from there. The fireworks came on inside the court as the bench got on the floor. The players got around each other. They celebrated their trip to Paris. All smiles for Aurelia Guinantes, one of the main contributors on the court. And here is confirmation. France still at the top of Group A, but Puerto Rico, importantly, in that 3rd spot. That pretty much confirms France, China, and Puerto Rico's tickets to Paris. We know France earlier on defeated China 82-50. And then just now we witnessed Puerto Rico defeating New Zealand 69-67. Still 2 more games to come up tomorrow. France up against New Zealand, China up against Puerto Rico. A chance for teams to fine-tune ahead of their Paris trip. A chance for New Zealand to give it one more go. But from Xi'an in China, congratulations to Puerto Rico. They are on the plane to Paris after a 2-point win against New Zealand.